Good afternoon, everybody. Joining us in council chambers and online. My name is Karen Silovitz. I'm the Ward 5 councillor and I am your committee chair for the Accessibility Advisory Committee of Richmond Hill. Today, I would like to welcome, we have two new members of our committee, Sadia Mirza, who is with us today in council chambers, and Wilson Wong also was appointed yesterday. And so he's not with us. I don't see him, but he will be joining us, I'm sure, either later or for our next meeting. So welcome to both Sadia and Wilson. Joining us in chambers today is Ted Moritsugu. And online, we have committee members Shala Yagubian, Yue Lin, and Councillor Carol Davidson, who is our Ward 1 councillor and our other member of council representative on this board, and Barry Monroe.
Apologies.
That's okay.
Through the chair, there is someone who's in the meeting. It says here Ontario Disabilities Note Taker that is using an AI app on this. I don't know who that is, but we are going to remove them. Is anyone specifically using this? I'm not sure.
Not that I know of.
Okay, very good.
Ontario Disabilities Note Taker, I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so without further ado, welcome to Thursday, April the 24th meeting in council chambers for the Accessibility Advisory Committee. I will call this meeting to order. And if I could have a member of committee, please give me a motion to adopt the agenda. And there's Lawrence Rafeman. And could I have a motion to adopt? Yue, thank you. Thank you. So moved by Yue. All those in favor to adopt the agenda, just raise your hands. Thank you. That passes unanimously. Welcome, Lawrence. Anybody on committee have a disclosure of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none, we'll move to item 4 on our agenda, which is adoption of previous minutes. 4.1 minutes Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting AAC 0125 held February the 20th, 2025, and your minutes are attached. And as I always say, I trust everyone has read them. And if I could have a member of committee move this item forward, please, for discussion. Thank you, Councillor Davidson. So on the floor, we have the adoption of previous minutes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, thank you. All those in favor of accepting the minutes? That carries, thank you. We have no delegations, but we do have a scheduled business. So we have 2 scheduled businesses today, 6.1 and 6.2. So 6.1, we have a presentation from inside council chambers by Moejan Rasuli, policy planner, regarding our official plan update with special mention of accessibility and barrier-free policies. This will be a 25-minute presentation. Welcome, Moejan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Wells? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Through you, Mrs. Chair. My name is Moejan Rasuli, and I'm a policy planner with the City of Richmond Hill. Today, I'm here to share how we are proposing to strengthen accessibility and barrier-free planning policies in the city's official plan. These updates are required as part of a provincial and regional conformity exercise that the city has been working on over the last few years. We know this committee plays a key role in advising on the accessibility plan preparation, implementation, and effectiveness, along with a wide range of accessibility matters. While the city has other plans that address accessibility matters in more detailed, there is also an opportunity to enhance accessibility and barrier-free policies in the city's official plan. Here's a quick roadmap of what I'll covering today. I'll begin by setting the planning context, how planning works in Ontario, and how Richmond Hill's official plan fits in. Next, I'll provide a brief status update on our official plan review. We will talk briefly about how policy connects to practice with respect to accessibility and how the work we do in planning supports the city's broader accessibility goals, including accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act compliance. We'll then walk through what the current official plan says about accessibility before moving into the proposed changes to strengthen these policies. Finally, I'll outline next steps and open it up for discussion and any questions you may have. To begin, I'd like to speak to the Ontario planning framework. Land use planning in Ontario is governed by the Planning Act, which sets the legislative basis and legal foundation for all land use planning in the province. In accordance with the Planning Act, land use decisions made in Ontario must be consistent with policies contained in the provincial planning statement. And one of the policies in the provincial policy statement is to support the achievement of complete communities by improving accessibility for people of all ages and abilities, by addressing land use barriers which restrict their full participation in society. Both the Planning Act and PPS, which is the provincial planning statement, provide provincial direction to local municipalities on land use planning matters, and these directions are implemented through local official plans. So how do these provincial policies take shape in Richmond Hill? That's where the Richmond Hill official plan comes in. The Richmond Hill official plan is the primary land use policy document that guides land use and development in the city over the next 25 years. The official plan contains policies such as where residents live, where can people work and play, how to get around the city using various modes of travel. Before we dive into the official plan policy update, I want to take a step back and talk about the overall status of the official plan update. You'll hear me use the term OP update as a short form of official plan update throughout this presentation. Under the Planning Act, municipalities are required to review their official plans at least every 5 years to ensure they align with current provincial and regional directions. The city is updating its official plan to bring our policies in conformity with the new provincial planning directions. Staff has started public engagement this spring and will continue to engage with the public and various stakeholders this year and in early 2026. We are targeting to bring the final official plan amendment for Council's adoption in June 2026. Richmond Hill has already completed several official plan amendments over the past 2 years, including updates to the city's vision, structure, neighborhoods, and growth areas. Work is now underway on the remaining components, including policies for major transit station areas, employment lands, and regional corridors. Today's presentation focuses on the proposed changes to accessibility and barrier-free planning policies. Now that we have looked at the planning framework, starting from the provincial policy statement to our own Richmond Hill official plan, I'd like to shift the focus to how accessibility goals move from policy to practice. Making the city more accessible is a joint effort from many different people, including council, residents, staff from various departments, and much more. Policy planning plays a foundational role in setting the city's long-term direction, but implementation is a collaborative, multidisciplinary process involving departments like engineering, parks, transportation, and community services. So, where does the official plan fit in putting accessibility measures into practice? The figure on the screen is a simplified version of the process. Through the official plan, we set the vision and policy framework for building complete, inclusive, barrier-free communities. These official plan policies are aligned with other departmental plans, such as Parks Plan or Transportation Master Plan, which must also comply with the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. We call them AODA. From there, these policies will be implemented through design and construction, which lead to real, tangible outcomes that support accessibility every step of the way. So what does all of that actually look like on the ground? These are examples of how official plan policies translate into real built outcomes. These built results are possible because accessibility is planned for from the policy stage. Whether it's accessible playground equipment, ramps, or entrances in public buildings like community centers, libraries, these are guided by planning policy frameworks like the official plan. They reflect Richmond Hill's commitment to inclusion, and they start with planning policies that embedded accessibility from the start. Now that we talked about where does the official plan fit in making the city more accessible, let's look at what does the current official plan from 2010 says. These are existing policies in the official plan from 2010 that set the foundation for building complete, more inclusive, and barrier-free communities. The plan positions Richmond Hill as a leader in barrier-free and accessible design, not just for public spaces, but also for private development. It promotes a barrier-free environment citywide, especially for people with disabilities or special needs. It requires that development comply with the Ontarians with Disabilities Act and all applicable provincial accessibility legislation. This is from 2010 official plan. It also encourages improvements to existing buildings and facilities to enhance accessibility over time. It commits to safe and accessible parks and recreation facilities, and it requires barrier-free access to all city-owned parks and public spaces. Let's take a closer look at how our official plan's urban design policies support accessibility. Our official plan encourages accessible and sustainable design in both public and private spaces. This includes universal design approaches like barrier-free features, pedestrian-oriented layouts, and human-scale development. We require safe, comfortable, continuous, and barrier-free pedestrian connections, particularly between buildings and surface parking areas. We emphasize designing safe, inclusive public spaces that support mobility, access, and comfort for everyone. Whether it's a sidewalk, plaza, or open space, the focus is on walkability, accessibility, and inviting design. As part of the city's official plan update, we've made several changes to the accessibility and barrier-free planning policies. We have strengthened the language. What was previously encouraged is now planned, showing the city's stronger commitment to barrier-free design for people with disabilities and those with special needs. We've updated the legislative references. We've clarified legislative compliance by referencing the correct legislation, the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act. We've expanded the scope of accessibility policies. The policies now explicitly include public spaces and urban open spaces, in addition to parks and recreation facilities. We have reinforced the requirement for public facilities to be accessible and safe, not just as a goal, but a standard that aligns with both AODA and provincial expectations. And finally, the updated language in this section of the official plan reinforces Richmond Hill's role as a leader in barrier-free and universally accessible planning, both in the public and private projects. These updates help position Richmond Hill as a leader in accessible planning and reflect our goal to build more inclusive communities. This slide highlights the updated language in policies 1 through 3 of section 3.5.7 of our official plan. The main change, as you can see, is the shift from promoted, it's the red word that is struck out, to planned, it's the red word underlined, which makes the city's commitment more proactive and implementation focused. We've also updated the legislative reference to the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, AODA, aligning with the current legislation. And finally, we continue to encourage the modification of existing buildings to improve accessibility. On these slides, policies 4 and 5, the scope of accessibility has been expanded to include public spaces and urban open spaces in addition to parks and recreation facilities. The policies now explicitly require alignment with the AODA and other provincial legislations. This reinforces the city's leadership role in planning inclusive and barrier-free environment across all publicly accessible areas. In terms of next steps, the city aims to complete the engagement events for official plan update by the end of June this year. Following that, based on feedback the city receives from stakeholders and the public, staff will finalize the draft OPA and release it for public commenting in late 2025. Then the city will host a statutory public open house and a council public meeting in the spring of 2026. And ultimately, staff hopes to seek council adoption of the final OPA by mid-year in 2026. That brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you for your attention and interest. I would now like to open the floor for questions or comments you may have.
Thank you very much, Marjan. That was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Very well explained. Thank you so much. Okay, so I would also like to mention we now have our Vice Chair Lopa Banerjee's online and Sherry Caldwell committee members online as well. Okay, so let's go to our scheduled business. If I could have a member of committee please bring forward that the presentation by Moijan Razuli, Policy Planner 2, regarding the official plan update, accessibility and barrier-free policies be received with thanks. Shala, is that you? Shala has moved it. Thank you very much. Is the mover Shala? You can speak first. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mujgan, for your very informative presentation. I was wondering how the people out in the community they can raise their concern about the your presentation that you said that it's going to be June. How they can aware that they are able to raise their concern. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Moijan.
Through you, Mrs. Chair. Thank you so much, Ms. Shala, for your question. As I mentioned, we have some upcoming engagement sessions. Actually, we had our webinars for official plan update. Through the slides, there is a slide that has provided a link to our official plan update webpage. You can register, and also our upcoming meeting, which is about another topic matter. It is going to be held on May 28th. It is an in-person meeting, but there is another webinar, again, regarding that major topic. It is about a major transit station area. It is going to be held on June 12th. But we have set up our OP update email address. So you are always welcome to share your comments through that email with us, or through, I have also added my email address, my manager's email address. You are welcome to provide your comments specifically for this presentation as well, and we will welcome your input. Hopefully I have answered your
Thank
question.
you, Mojan. Shala, anything further?
I was more, thank you very much, the Madam of Chair. Mujgan, I was more about the other, like the people that they are not hearing this presentation, the public people that they are, in the community, how they will inform, how do you guys inform them to, to send their, their concern? For example, my neighbor is not aware that, she needs the accessibility, yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Shala. If I could go to our clerk, Deputy Clerk Ryan Bayan, so he can give you a full explanation about how everybody is informed about anything to do with the city.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Through the chair, we do post this on the website. I actually would like to pass this over to the manager of policy, Phoebe Chow, as she'd be able to talk more specifically about the OP update and how you would comment on that aspect specifically.
Thank you. Shala, everything is on our website. We hope and trust that everybody knows we have a website and that they go to that website. And if they're looking for any specific kind of information, they go to the website. Otherwise, they can contact the city at any time, and they can also contact their local councillor.
Thank you.
Anything further, Shala?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anybody else on committee who would like to comment? Councillor Davidson, go ahead.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I saw a new plan for, we are refurbishing some of the parks in Richmond Hill, and there's a refurbishment for the park over by Bond Arena, which I, for the life of me, can't remember the name of, but it's beside Bond Arena. Are we actively now, whenever we do a new construction, ensuring that there is accessibility there, which I see there is at this new park? And then how do we, is that now the starting point? And then we'll somehow figure out how to make older parks more accessible, but moving forward, parks and trails and things will be accessible through you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Davidson. That's a great question. Mojan, I'll let you embellish, but I do know that all of our parks that are built as of AODA are AODA compliant.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much through you, Madam Chair. That's a great question. And I just want to clear our role as policy department, policy planner. As I explained through my presentation, there was this slide that talks about policy to practice. So we focus on policy direction, and we work closely with our colleagues in other implementing departments to achieve the goal of building these barrier-free and accessible community facilities, including parks, as you mentioned. So our role in policy is in policy. We are just setting the vision, and we are, through the policies that I shared with you, and we are updating, we mentioned that we are putting this as a requirement that, for example, we are encouraging that our existing facilities be AODA compliance, or any new development need to be AODA compliance. But then we understand that our colleagues in infrastructure and engineering services, they would be best answer to this type of questions that relate to the design construction stage. So, and I think they are going to have some updates in the next meeting in June. So we will take back this question. We know that this is the concern, but I think our colleagues from the other departments, engineering and design construction, are better to answer this. I will ask Phoebe, if my manager, if she wants to add anything to this, but I just wanted to clarify our role as policy, that we put just the vision and the goal to achieve accessibility.
Thanks, Mojan. And as I know Councillor Davidson knows, but for all other members of committee or those listening online, we do every time a new park is planned, There is public consultation, and people who live in the residents who live in the immediate area are invited to those public consultations. Phoebe, would you like to add anything further?
Through Madam Chair, I don't have anything to add, but yes, from my understanding, in discussion with our colleagues in infrastructure and engineering services, the city has been planning and designing and constructing facilities to AODA compliant. But again, like they'll be the best to answer those questions. But that's our understanding at the moment.
Right, through you, Madam Chair.
Thank you,
Exactly,
Councillor
and
Davidson.
that was part of the redesign of this park too. I guess so the policy part though has to work with the other departments, or the policy doesn't mean anything. And you already answered that, yes, you're working with your other departments in Richmond Hill. And I, even though there are consultations through you, Madam Chair, I just want to tell everybody in this meeting, whether you're part of the committee or not, don't hesitate to send your counselor an email, because we end up approving everything in the end, and there's always a million questions. So make sure that, or email me or Karen, or remind us, Counselor Silvitz, that you need, what you want every single time. Like remind us that accessibility is so important. Anyway, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councillor Davidson. To everybody, I'm sure you can appreciate and understand that your local councillors for all 6 wards should be your first contact. And if you have any questions about anything, contact your local councillor, and we will absolutely assist you no matter what the question is. Okay, thank you, Councillor Davidson. Next online is to speak is Vice Chair Lopa Banerjee. Go ahead, Lopa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So my question is on policy to practice. Now, we talked about approvals being done, by following the AODA, rules, or what do you say? Whatever policies you have for AODA. Now, my question is there a way this can be put up or it can be displayed? So in the park, this is AODA compliant. And if you have any questions, reach out to this place. Or any new building that is coming up, displayed that this is AODA compliant, and these have been done. These are the following rules that we have followed. And if you have any questions, you can reach out there. Is there a way we can have this put up in the buildings as a mandatory thing? Because otherwise, the community members, they wouldn't know what they are, if they are AODA compliant, yes, no, where do they reach out to? So that's my question. I hope I was able to explain.
Yeah, thank you, Lopa. Great point. Marjan?
Yeah, thank you so much. So again, I would like to clarify that here with our presentation, we were going to provide you with updates that we are doing to the policies. This is a really great point, Lupa. I will defer it again to our colleagues at Infrastructure and Engineering Services, who will provide some updates. But something that I realized through the webpage, if you go to the accessibility Richmond Hill, there is a section that, for example, talks about a playground that I showed on the screen that says this is fully accessible park, the first fully accessible park in Richmond Hill. So to be honest, we are, at the policy department, we just set the policies, but these great points can be discussed through the community consultation when a park is going to be designed. And also you can raise these questions with the upcoming meeting that you will have with our colleagues at the engineering services.
Thanks, Marjan. I think also, Lopa, I will make sure that I get back to you on this one, and I will speak to our engineering department. And I have seen sometimes plaques in our buildings that do say AODA compliant. I don't believe I've ever seen them at a park, other than when the design plaque is up, the design board is up. But I'll speak with engineering and get back to you, and I'll actually update the whole committee at our next meeting as to whether or not we are compelled to have any kind of notification within our parks and buildings as to them being AOD compliant. Thank you, Lopa. Any further questions?
No, thank you, Madam Chair, on that. My only thing is that we need to take the accessibility that we are thinking about, the accessibility and providing the facilities to our community members through projecting or showing them that these are compliant, we have been thinking about you. So just to display more that we are there for them.
Oh, it's a very good point. I agree with you.
Thank you.
It's an excellent point. It's very good so that anybody in the public realizes all the hard work that this city is doing to making sure that we are AOD compliant. Thank you very much, Lopa. Okay, next on my speakers list is Sherry Caldwell, to be followed by Yuelin. Go ahead, Sherry.
Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to share that I think it's necessary, it's important that you consult with the public and local residents on the parks. But I'd like to kind of urge the city to go a bit beyond that, because as you probably realize, caregivers and people with disabilities are already very taxed in their lives. And to find ones to speak up is great and wonderful. But if we could also maybe reach out, there are organizations, there's one called Accessible Playgrounds Ontario that has gathered a lot of information about the accessible playgrounds around, and consult with groups that are very specialized in it. Also in Barrie, they built Painswick Park, like a large, very accessible park, and with designers that had lived experience with disabilities and designed playground equipment. And I just think it would be beneficial to make sure that you have some time with experts that are doing this and that are in Ontario. Maybe they're not in Richmond Hill. But I think if we're waiting for, even I'm very big on advocating, and I wanted to come to some consultation meetings, but our lives are very busy. And I don't think you're going to hear enough voices, and there are people out there that really have much more knowledge that I think would be worth some time with. And I know the region, York region, sometimes did that on like plastics, and the city of Toronto. So I don't know if we don't have enough money to do that kind of consultation, but I think that it would be worthwhile.
Okay, good point, Sherry. Thank you. I would imagine that this would gel with or not, whether or not it's in the terms of reference, that we consult with disability organizations across Ontario, or at the very least across York region. Can you tell me, Marjan, do you know if we actually do that as part of our policy process?
Through you, Madam Chair, I can take back this, but we do public consultations, but I need to think about it and take this comment back, and we will provide you with a response. That if you are already consulting with disability organizations for our park
It's a very, very good idea. Thank you, Sherry. Phoebe, can you tell us from your perspective as a manager, do you know if we do consult with any of the organizations across York region or Greater Ontario?
Through you, Madam Chair, as part of the OP update project that we're doing, we do consult with specific stakeholders. But again, we'll have to take it back to go through our stakeholders list. Is quite long, and to confirm if the organizations that's been mentioned are on our list.
Okay, that's great. If you could send me an update on that, Phoebe, I'd appreciate it, and then I'll send it out to the rest of the committee at some point before the next meeting. I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Will do.
Okay, Sherry, any further questions?
No, that was all. Thank you. Thanks for the presentation.
Okay, great point. Okay, next on our speakers list is Yue. Go ahead, Yue.
Hi, I just have a quick question, because I heard that you mentioned whenever we have any questions, the first person we should reach out is the local councillors. Where we can find those local councillors that I'm not aware of.
Okay, so on our website, on the City of Richmond Hill's website,
Yes.
there all the local councillors are there under mayor and council.
Okay.
And you can, if you know, which ward do you live in, or where do you live? Do you know who your local councillor is, Yue?
I don't know. That's why I ask.
Okay, where do you live?
I
What's
live
just give
in
me the name of your street.
I live in in 16th Avenue and Bayview. 16th
16th and
Avenue.
Bayview. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you live south of 16th Avenue or north?
You know the Bayview Hill neighborhood?
Yes. That's
Yes,
where you live?
I'm there, yeah.
Okay, so you're Ward 3 and your local councillor is Castro Liu. So if you look on our city website
Yeah,
and you go to the main page,
yeah.
just scroll down, you'll see where it says mayor and council. You
Okay.
click on that link, and that'll take you to information about the mayor and all 6 councillors. And through there, you'll be able to get in touch with Councillor Liu, as well as his office.
Castro Liu, right? Okay.
That's if you want to get in touch with your local councillor, correct?
Okay. In the City of Richmond Hill website, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you so much.
richmondhill.ca.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Yue. Anything further?
That's it for now.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, so thank you, Yue. So on the first round, is there anybody further who would like to ask any questions? Anybody in chambers? Would you like to? Go ahead. Okay, we have the next speaker is one of our new members, Sadia Mirza. Sadia, press the button in front of you and the light will go on. There you go, and speak into the mic. Thank you, Sadia. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. So I'm very new to this group, and this may be a question that, it's something that I'm just not aware of, but because it keeps popping up in my mind, I thought I'd better ask. In the Richmond Hill official plan from 2023, the one that you were referring to, it said that the results from, the barrier-free design planning should result in inclusive, safe, and accessible spaces across the city. I'm just wondering where sustainability is in this equation. Just a question as to, perhaps there was a reason by design that you left that out, but that's my question, is why does it not say that the result should be inclusive, safe, sustainable, and accessible?
Okay, thank you. Marjan, are you able to respond? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much through you, Madam Chair. Great observation, Sadia. Thank you so much. So in our official plan, we have a section about sustainable design and sustainability. And when we talk about being inclusive, sustainability will be included as well. So that's, in the slide that I talked about urban design and other accessibility policies in our official plan, I mainly refer you guys to that section of the official plan that is including our urban design policies and sustainable design. And I provided just the expert of those policies, so you can refer to. But throughout my presentation, I was referring to complete, inclusive, and barrier-free communities. And that's how our provincial direction set us our official plan policies to go forward. But thank you so much. That's a great observation.
Thank you, Marjan. Does that help you? I know it can be very difficult to understand, also because we always have to comply with either what York Region says or what the province says. So it can be a little bit difficult to follow those steps. But if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sadia. Okay, anybody else on the first round? Seeing none, so I'll just give that to myself. Thank you very much again. That was a great presentation. What I particularly like is the change of verbiage from promoted to planned. I think that is brilliant because that definitely shows how dedicated we are to doing what we do with regards to accessibility. So that's great. May I ask, do you know if all municipalities are doing that, or is that just something we are doing in our official plan?
That's
Not
true,
sure.
Through you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
That's a great question. I didn't think about how other municipalities are updating, but we can take it back and have a look.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, and it is noted in our official plan, Richmond Hill is a leader in
Yes.
accessibility. But I will do it and take a look at this. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That's
Marjan. That's I urge all other municipalities, if you're listening,
Sure.
that you should also do that, because that is very, very important wording. And I'll tell you also what I will do is, with this webinar that is scheduled for June the 12th, 2025, if I may ask our deputy clerk, can we please send through an email to all committee members the direct link to register for that webinar? Then at least we know that they can attend that. Thank you very much. He has agreed, and we will make sure that is done. Thank you. Okay, so is there anybody who wants to speak on a second round? Looking at my board, nope. Looking at my bench, no. Okay, so we have nothing on a second round. So before us, we have the scheduled business of 6.1, presentation by Marjan Rasuli, Policy Planner 2, regarding the official plan update, accessibility and barrier-free policies be received with thanks, and that was forwarded by Shala Yagubian. All those in favor, just raise your hands or not. Raise your hands. That passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you again, Marjan. It was a pleasure. Okay, we move to our second agenda item, which is an addition. Agenda item 6.2, we have a presentation and discussion by Sherry Caldwell, who is a member of the Richmond Hill Accessibility Advisory Committee, regarding Red Shirt Day and National Accessibility Week Conference, which is going to be hosted by York Region, and to which Sherry is going to be our representative. So I will hand it over to you, Sherry, for your presentation discussion. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you. I'm the representative on the committee, the planning committee for the conference. However, the conference is open to actually all of you. And as of last week, it was going to be limited to 3 people. However, they've been able to acquire a bigger room, and they're encouraging everyone that is free that day and able to register and attend. They'd like to this is a session on trying to bring AAC members together and kind of strengthen our advocacy. And actually, they just sent out the save the date notice to committee members, and I think it's going to go to the Richmond Hill clerk. So you'll all see that in your inboxes shortly. Not sure, maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure how quickly that'll happen, but the conference is to recognize the 20th anniversary of Accessibilities for Ontarians with Disability Act, and also to recognize and celebrate Easter Seals Ontario's Red Shirt Day of Action for Accessibility and Inclusion by encouraging everyone to wear red. And it's going to be in Newmarket from 10 to 3 p.m. on May 28th, 2025. They also are asking for a staff member that works with the Accessibility Committee to also register and attend. And last year, there was myself and one other member of the committee there. And I would really encourage you to register and come and learn. The ministry and the ADM is going to be the keynote speaker. And they're also bringing 2 senior policy staff there to present to us. And we have a big question and answer period, because we wanted to make sure that members and the community were able to ask them questions and have time to advocate and raise our concerns. I think that's going to be a big portion, like an hour. over an hour where we're going to be able to advocate. So that's all. And hopefully everyone, we'll see many of you there.
Thank you, Sherry. Ryan, if I may, when you are given all that information that Sherry's just discussed, would you please make sure that you also send it to all members of committee so that we can all have that date down. I am going to try and be there. I do have other meetings that day. It is a Wednesday, but I will definitely try and be there if I can. But I'm very happy to know that Sherry is going to be there, and she will be representing us, and she will be our eyes and ears, and she will come back to us with another update from that meeting, which you did last time as well, which was fantastic. So thank you, Sherry. I'm going to try my best to be there. And also, Ryan, about the staff member, if that we could deal with that as well. Thank you very much. I'd appreciate that. And so that's May the 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Newmarket. So that's at the York Region main offices on Yonge Street. I definitely look forward to going there. So I will let you know, Sherry, if I am going to be able to attend. Is there anybody? First of all, let's bring Sherry's verbal update and presentation forward by a member of committee, please, so we can have anybody speak to it if they so wish. Thank you. Larry, that's moved by Lawrence Waifman. Larry, as the mover, do you have anything you wish to say? Councillor Davidson, you're next on the list. Yeah, you're muted, Larry.
Thank you, Sherry, for bringing this to our attention. I wasn't aware of it. Certainly on that day, if I'm available, I would like to come down, but we'll see how things work out.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, great.
You're welcome. Okay, I will go to Councillor Davidson. She's next on my speakers list.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, thank you, Sherry. Your advocacy is tireless. As I know everyone on this committee who has family members that they help care for. I did want to ask the clerk, Mr. Clerk, is this something that you'll send to all of council? Because I'd like to put it in my newsletter. And also, will you include, I'm not even honestly clear of which departments would attend this kind of thing. I would love to know, because I'd like to talk to them. If I can't go myself, I'd like to talk to them before they go. Is that something you could at least share with the council members?
Thank you. Ryan?
Thank you. Through the chair, we absolutely will send on any information that we receive from York Region out to AEC members. And just to be clear, I will be attending. We've been waiting for the actual formal registration because it's only been a save the date. So from what committee member Cadwell has said, they're sending something out, but I have let Valentina know that I will be attending, but we've been waiting for the formal invite because they didn't confirm the time at this time yet.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sherry, you wanted to add something?
I just wanted to clarify, this committee or this conference is only open to AAC members and councillors. So if you're on the AAC,
yes,
you're welcome, but it's not open to the
general public.
Thank you.
They have a limited budget.
Right.
There will be lunch and food and yeah, so I hope that we can get many of us there.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great clarification. Thank you, Councillor Davidson. Is that it? Nothing further? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so anybody else on the first round? Okay, seeing none. So just from myself, thank you, as always, Sherry. I echo what Councillor Davidson said. You are a remarkable advocate, not only for your daughter, but for this committee as well, and for everybody who requires the attention of an accessibility advisory committee, as well as the attention of municipalities and the government of Ontario, in order to ensure that everything that we do as in governance is accessible to those who are not able-bodied and are unable to access anything that able-bodied people can access. So thank you again for all that you do. Is there anybody else who wants to go on a second round? Seeing none. Okay, good. Okay, so we have moved, item 6.2 was moved by Lawrence Raifman, that the presentation by Sherry Caldwell, Richmond Hill Accessibility Advisory Committee member, regarding Red Shirt Day National Accessibility Week conference hosted by York Region be received with thanks. All those in favor, just raise your hands. Thank you very much. That carries. Thank you. Okay. So that concludes all of our scheduled agenda business for today. Thank you to all members of committee who joined us today for this meeting, either in chambers or online. And anybody who's watching online, thank you very much for being a part of this this discussion. And we just have, before we get to the adjournment, if I may ask our deputy clerk, what is the date of our next meeting?
Thank you through the chair. The next meeting is Thursday, June 19th at 1:30.
Thank you very much. And excuse me, just one more question, Ryan. Do you ensure that our two new members have all of those dates through to the end of this term? Okay, that's great. So if you're a new member, Sadia Wilson, you will be getting that information as well, so you can add it to your calendars. And Sadia, just because you are here in chambers, if you have any questions that you wish to ask, please direct them either to Ryan through the clerk's office or myself. We'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. So the final thing on our agenda for today is item number 7, adjournment. Can I have a member of committee please move for adjournment? Thank you, Ted. Okay, so we have moved by Ted for adjournment. All those in favor? Raise your hands. Thank you. That carries unanimously.